At which he won 14 gold medals.
Okay, I think we're good to go. I'm just checking if we're actually live.
I see it from the First Movers account.
Okay, I see it too. Okay, amazing. Really excited to do this edition of the SWE ecosystem call again. It's been a while since we last spoke, so yeah, there's a lot to discuss in this call.
Yeah, excited to be here again after a little bit of a hiatus after Basecamp. We have some exciting guests to chat about, and also just things that have been happening in the SWE ecosystem recently.
Okay, so let's jump to the agenda. So we'll start with a disclaimer. I'll give you guys an update on what we've been up to with First Movers. We'll then celebrate some ecosystem wins. We'll welcome our first guest of honor. That's Daniel from Tradeport. And again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or in the Twitter thread that I'd shared earlier on my profile, or yeah, just use the chat. Then we'll go over some trends on crypto Twitter. We'll have Healthy from Double Up come up and do a product feature. And yeah, and we'll conclude with some new segment ideas. So let's get into it. Mandatory disclaimer. This call is independent from the SWE Foundation or Miskin Labs. So think of us as your fellow SWE enjoyers and not as corporate employees. What is First Movers? It's a gated community of builders and contributors on SWE. So if you guys are looking to get into SWE, if you guys are looking to get more active, to be more productive on SWE, then definitely do join this community. Start with the Discord. We do have a lot of content that we do on our Twitter as well. But yeah, generally, if you want to connect with like-minded, productive people on SWE, definitely do check out the Discord. We also have tons of opportunities available for you to get started and earn some money as well. So talking about some of the updates here, we are now live in Vietnam officially. So we do have a physical presence of First Movers in Vietnam. So if you're anywhere within the country, definitely do join the Discord. We do have some role-gated channels for the Vietnamese audiences. And yeah, it'll be very cool. We'll be doing a bunch of events there as well. So could not be more excited to, start our international expansion through Vietnam. The second and a very cool update is that we recently concluded our first bounty, and Simarpreet won the bounty. The bounty was to basically create a more easy to read, easy to follow portal for SIPs. For context, SIPs are what um, uh, is a platform for network upgrades to be pushed out. So these are very significant or even small changes that happen on SWE that go through the SIP process. So Simarpreet built out a platform that makes it very easy for a non-developer to also follow along with what's been happening on SWE. Typically, the discussions happen on GitHub, which may not be the most suitable for visibility for non-technical audiences. So this platform really makes it easy for you to catch pace with everything. So just scan this barcode, and yeah, I think you'll be surprised at how fast SWE is evolving and how many changes are just rapidly happening on this chain. We also have a new bounty. H2O Nodes has sponsored a bounty for you to create a testnet faucet dApp. I think the price amount for this is $1,000 to get out. I don't know the exact details of when the bounty closes, but it's been live for a bit, so definitely do check this out. And again, the barcode that you see is the link to the Discord, where the bounty details are listed as well. You'll also be able to get any questions answered, any doubts answered, and again, like I said, the most important part is just meeting and being around like-minded people. So I think you'll have a good time. Yeah, I think now we can move on to the ecosystem win. Sarah, do you have any thoughts on First Movers and how you think people should get involved if they're just getting started?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to also just meet new people in the ecosystem, whether you're coming from like a already pretty heavy Web3 background or just new to Sui. Great way to just get involved and then also meet like-minded people and kind of like ease your way into Sui itself. I think community is something that we're really proud of, and generally like finding a place for everyone to really contribute or just like be around other people that they like. Like that's something that we want to see more of. So definitely excited that First Movers has expanded to Vietnam, that it's in India, but it's also open to everybody. Those just happen to be the more physical hubs for both of those activations. And excited to see it expand into more locations as well.
Yeah, a third location is coming in very soon, so do be on the lookout for that. And yeah, you can earn money too. So if it's not just meeting like-minded people, but it's also making some good bucks. So the first ecosystem win comes from the Electric Capital Developer Report. Again, Sam did kind of highlight what was shown, but Sui is the second fastest growing L1 dev community over the last year and just marginally behind Solana, which, of course, like we all know the momentum that it carried. So we're all very proud of that. And the credit goes to all of you, all the people, all of the community that has really been active on Sui, been building through the thick and thin of the bear market. And now, well, the good times as well. So, yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And I hope that we can support you in this journey that you've taken. Um, it is the fastest growing L1 dev community over the last 2 years at 54%, which is crazy, especially considering how hard it is for new ecosystems to bootstrap a developer audience. I think we've done really well, and yeah, again, credit goes to all of you for contributing and being super active. And yeah, Sui remains the largest and fastest and the most vibrant Move developer community, uh, which is, of course, very, very important to us. And yeah, I think it's just very encouraging, especially for platforms to get more developers. I think there's no better metric to show off for, the results of the work that all of us have put in.
Awesome. And then moving on from our favorite developer report, if anyone has watched the new F1 movie, you can see one of your favorite brands of all time actually featured. They used a lot of the clips from the actual season with all of the drivers, so they could actually make the movie feel a bit more real. And you'll see a lot of cameos from actual drivers as well. But Max Verstappen's driving his car. There's a little Sui logo. Actually, when I saw it in theaters, I caught it. I tried to film it, but I felt really bad in the theater, and there's a security guard sitting next to me. So I was like, am I going to get kicked out for trying to film? And I didn't know like what my excuse would be. Like, oh, that's my company. I just wanted to get some good content. I don't know if that would fly and if I was going to get banned from the theater. But very excited to kind of see Sui in real life in different places. If you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely recommend watching it. It's already on Apple TV, so you can actually like pause, freeze frame, and then try to find Sui. Just like as a hint, it's in the first race that they do. But honestly, movie was quite interesting. It was very long. Brad Pitt looks like he does something really weird with his smile. But it's an interesting movie. It's not based on real life. I really thought it was. But I think the most important thing is that we are featured in the movie.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Subtle plug, I'm also wearing a certain t-shirt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you
Yeah,
wearing a Red Bull shirt?
yes, I am wearing a Red Bull shirt.
I could see it in the collar.
I mean, it's all just sponsors, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I do like the Mercedes jersey a little bit better, like especially the color. But yeah, this one isn't too bad. It's also from the 2024 year where Sui was pretty active with Red Bull. So yeah, very cool. And yeah, the side smirk is it's hilarious that you pointed it out.
Yeah, no, it was a really good feature, and I like to see kind of Sui in real life. Our next kind of spotlight is Samurai Showdown is now live. It is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game spun off from the classic game of the same name. It has real-time PvP combat, and it utilizes a lot of sweet primitives like ZK login, NFTs, and closed-loop token in its game to kind of make it a more interactive experience. It's also one of SweetPlay's launch partners, so definitely recommend downloading it today and start playing. If you look at the graphics, they're very fun, very close to kind of a lot of other AAA games that we know and love dearly. And it's going to be kind of a great showstopper and kind of highlight on the SweetPlay itself, especially when Society and some of the other games come live too.
Yeah, this is very cool. I also remember it being a big thing back in the day. So yeah, very cool to see all these nostalgic IPs finally embrace Web3 and come on live. Yeah, and I think on the DeFi side, Steam and Sweeland has just seen parabolic growth. $900 million in deposits is just ridiculous. And also considering like Steam, how young it is and how efficient it's being. I think it's done 120 million in volume, which is a very healthy ratio considering it's TVL as well. So yeah, I think in terms of DeFi, it's all guns blazing for most protocols on Sui. So yeah, I think definitely something to look out. Again, the broader trend is that Sweet DeFi is at its all-time high. Total value logged is close to $2.5 billion, which is ridiculous. Again, mind you, we're talking about a very young ecosystem in the context of uh, the incumbents, and the growth that we've shown has just been insane. I think one thing to point out here is also the specific focus on BTC Fi and the stable coins market cap that is there on Sui, both of which are relatively well isolated, non-speculative assets that are making up a majority of this TVL. So that is also one very crucial point to note. Because this TVL is going to be very static, it's going to be very constant, it's not going to be as fluctuating as it being dominated by just random altcoins or meme coins. So yeah, this is very encouraging for us to see. DBook also announced some very significant updates. Sarah, I think we should definitely have Aslan on one of these to go over exactly what the vision is behind DBook. But yeah, generally, I think some feature launches were permissionless pools, revamped fee mechanics, enhanced balance manager, and fee payments in any tokens. Again, just making DBook the default club on Sui, the default avenue for people to extract liquidity from the ecosystem and just making sure that it's not fragmented across all the different applications that are built on Sui.
Awesome. And then outside of our kind of DeFi protocols doing great and adding a lot to the ecosystem, we also kind of wanted to highlight the Sui Overflow winners and Ocean DAO, which came out of Sui Overflow. Just some of the winners from the larger categories in AI, there's Sweetbetic, Cryptography, Zero Leaks, DeFi, Magna Finance, Degen, Moonbags, Entertainment and Culture, GiveRep, Exploration, Sweebotics, Infra and Tooling, Sui SQL, Payments and Wallets, Pivi, and then programmable storage SuiSign. So congrats to all of the winners. I think there's 36 in total, 3 or 4 across each category, and also winners across university categories and a community vote. And then I also wanted to share that Ocean DAO is currently going on right now. There is 50 overflow winners, and the pilot of 10 people from the bootcamp teams in the IRL Greece bootcamps at a in-person summit where they can get mentorship, expert sessions, and then work together in the Sui Athens hub. And this is kind of the global destination for Sui builders now. So this is really post-hackathon support for the teams, and it's activated now so they can do a lot of sessions alongside the tech or get business support, ecosystem office hours. So we're happy that we are able to support now all of the winners or select winners as well, and kind of help them create a business out of just what they were doing with their project. So please take a look at all of the winners and stay tuned for just more information coming out of Ocean DAO. Amog, do you have anything else that you want to cover on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I guess one other cherry on top is that if you compete and do well on a Sui hackathon, you'll get a fully funded trip to Greece, which by itself is a pretty good prize, in my opinion.
Yeah, so true. And I believe the office is beautiful. Awesome. And then moving on, so DoubleUp has been doing a lot of exciting things recently. They launched sports betting, which I think has captured a lot of people's attention. People are losing a lot of money. They're also winning a lot of money. So you never know with the casino. Again, fair casino, everything's on chain. So you know what your odds are going in. They also released their merch store. I think Amog actually bought something. So excited to see him wearing his DoubleUp merch. I also have a sweater from there as well. And then there's a new surprise that's launching tonight. We could try to bully Healthy to talk about it more today, but that's something that is also coming soon. Kind of the three pillars that I see now of culture right now. Like Studio Mirai does a great job with their NFT collection, the trips that they take, and like building that community. R2 says that they want to be the culture layer on Sui, and they'll be bringing fine art on chain and just other experiences to kind of flesh that out. And now Double Up is kind of coming with more of the streetwear and some more interesting surprises as well.
Yeah, I think one small anecdote that I want to share is that I got one of my friends to buy Sui back in the day when it wasn't as high as it is today. So he's just made a bunch of money, and then he was like, "Hey, like, what do I do with it?" And he's been very, very active in the gambling, so in the IRL gambling circles. I was like, just try it out. And since then, I think I've lost a friend, and he explicitly told me that he hates me for introducing him to Double Up. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you care about your friendships, maybe don't introduce your friends to Double Up games.
But he plays them still to this day and hates you?
Yeah, I mean, he's an addict, and that's how they're supposed to
Ah,
behave.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
know Healthy treats his whales very well. So anyone that wants to spend a lot of money on Double Up, they'll get really cool experiences.
okay, amazing. I will let him know and try to rekindle my friendship.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I think one big semi-controversial thing that happened in the Sui ecosystem is the Ika airdrop. We can get into the controversy surrounding it later, but the Ika airdrop is the claims aren't live yet. I think the TG is announced for the 29th of July, but you can check how much your allocation is, which is again like for some people that were active in the Ika circle, they've done an amazing job. It feels like a wall moment again for the community, which is nice to think about. It's going to be a huge liquidity injection event on Sui, which again by itself is super exciting for me as somebody who wants to see more projects on Sui flourish. But yeah, in the chat, if you guys are comfortable, do drop in your airdrop allocation. We'll go through all the chats, I think, after the segment once. Sarah, did you participate? Were you active with the Ika airdrop farming? You're on mute.
Cool. I don't know if it was just my location or not, but when I tried to claim it, said I wasn't eligible.
Yeah, I think you can use a VPN and claim it. That should be fine.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
you definitely cannot be from a sanctioned country. And we do have a section where we discuss KYC as well, so we can probably, dive deeper into it then.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, I don't know. I was on my laptop, so I didn't have my VPN on there, but we will see.
Otherwise, I think you can check through the Slush through Slush itself. You just need to find the claim NFT, and if you click on it, you see the metadata that shows you exactly how much your claim will be.
Oh, okay. Good
Yeah.
tip to Mr. Amog. I will also try to do
Yes. I
that.
mean, yeah, I borrowed it from other people. I think it was Brett Smith and somebody else who posted it. But yeah, that was a super helpful tip. Helped me not have to go through the VPN hoop. Um, Sui is now supported by Near Intense. Again, what this allows you to do is just get access to all coins across all chains natively within the Sui interface, as far as I can tell. But yeah, again, very, very cool. I think it's a semi-competitive product to Ika, but yeah, I think generally Ika is going to be native to Sui. I think they do have some security assumptions that are very, very different that David has covered in one of his Twitter threads. So if you're interested in cross-chain network interaction, then definitely do check that thread out. I'll see if I can pull it up in the chat in a bit. I think before we call Daniel, I'll just highlight some chats. So Saurabh said GM from Vadodara. GM Saurabh, I think we do have a few very, very active members from Vadodara, so I hope you get to meet them. And, I hope you guys are able to start your mini cults in cities across India for Sui. Sui Ninja was acknowledging that we're live. GM Webhub, Candle Lord reposted this stream. Thank you so much. Mirai Degen says GM
He
to you
says
as
Degen.
well. Yeah, my bad. His name was Mirai Degen. Stark is also wishing everyone GM. Hey Stravia, how's it going?
He spelled your
Tutu
name
is a
like dough, Amog.
yeah, man. I should not have highlighted this.
Hi,
Tutu
Mr.
is,
Christopher. Why did
and
you just
then we
say
have another.
amazing? He didn't say good morning.
I mean, he's a fan, I guess.
It's Chris from R2.
Oh, oh, amazing. I think he means the initiative. But hey, Chris,
Aw.
I'm here too. First Movers had a great move dev workshop in my college. Oh, is this the Pune college? But yeah, I'm glad. I'll tell Bhavya also who helped lead it. I think Parry and Rahul from First Movers were the ones that conducted this workshop. So yeah, appreciate you enjoying the workshop, and I hope you stay around and build something on Sui. Sui Founders Hub is wishing GM.
Oh, that's
When
me.
Sui Hub in wait, is that your account?
Yeah.
Is that your alt?
No, that's what I
Nice.
use for our accelerator when I have to post videos.
Okay. And now we have Chaya. When Sui Hub in India? We are contemplating. I think I had put out a poll earlier about the location. We're considering either pushing for one in Gurgaon or one in Bangalore. Whatever your thoughts are, do share it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
What about Goa?
CC Goa is well, I mean, we don't want it to be all party and no work. So I
People
think
keep
Goa will be
asking
off
for
limits.
anytime I like post something, they're like, do event in Goa. And I'm like, excuse me?
I mean, yeah, we'll do an event. We'll do like a rave in Goa, but I don't think we'll do anything else there. Um, CCTOO coming to Sui. Oh, I think this is the meme coin that Roto had launched. I think it's doing really well. But yeah, very cool. Air to the World says GM. Naveen says GM. Firewater says GM to everyone. Any upcoming events in SF? Sarah, do you know?
I was responding in chat, but what kind of events do you want? I don't think we have anything planned right now, but potentially there could be something for Walrus because I know they've been doing events there. But I think we're trying to focus, at least on the ecosystem side, to do more founder events or like smaller group, more curated founder stuff.
Yeah, and I think if you guys have any ideas, then do post them. I think Sarah's alt is gonna make something happen. Okay, now I think we can welcome Daniel to the stage.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, doing really well. I was gonna ask you to do a mic check, but yeah, it seems like it's working really well.
Great. Yeah, good deal. I enjoyed the updates so far.
Nice.
I
Where
was
where are you joining from?
from the States in Arkansas. So our team is kind of all over the place, but this is where I am some of the time. And yeah.
Go raise your backs.
Cool.
Hey, look at you.
I
I'm impressed.
did track in college, so I always saw them doing very well.
Okay, that is the one sport that we are consistently really good at. So
Yes, send a lot of
yeah,
Olympians.
that's our claim to fame. A lot of national championships in track.
It's the only thing that people should care about, honestly. What is this crypto stuff? Let's talk
What
about track
events did you run?
I pole vaulted in college. Again, why I know like about Arkansas because they have some great pole vaulters.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah, Daniel, I think we'd love to hear from you. Just a brief introduction, what TradePort is, how you guys came onto Sui, what you guys are looking to do, just a brief overview of your plans going forward, and then we can get into some questions that were that the community wanted to ask you.
Yeah, so I'm Daniel. I'm one of the founders of TradePort. We actually started TradePort back in 2021. So Josh and we actually grew up together. We met each other playing like Little League baseball when we were 12 years old. Josh is the other co-founder of TradePort. So we've been friends for a long time, and he was always like reading obscure tech blogs. So in high school, he was telling me about Bitcoin, and I was like, whatever. I was not a very tech interested guy in high school. And then kind of throughout college, he'd update me on, things he was learning in crypto here and there. And then in 2017, he told me about this thing called Blockstack. It was like basically supposed to be the open internet. It was when all of the data hacks were happening. And so I finally kind of listened to him on this, got interested in that. I think there was an ICO, and I think we got involved in that. And then in 2020, 2021, I kind of went down the Bitcoin rabbit hole, started doing all the normal things you do when you go down the Bitcoin rabbit hole that leads you to other things in crypto. But I was never that interested in DeFi or different things like that. It just didn't really interest me that much. But then in 2021, NFTs started kind of really coming on the scene. And for whatever reason, I collected baseball cards when I was little, and NFTs just struck a chord with me. So I got obsessed. I think I bought one. I minted an NFT. It was my first NFT. And then the second NFT I bought was a Pudgy Penguin after they had already run. And so it was $10,000. And I'm usually a very conservative person financially. So I told Josh this, and he's like, all right, if you spent $10,000, there's something here. And so we were already kind of playing around with stuff on Stacks, wanted to build something. So we basically built a launch pad on Stacks, which is the manual launch pad, and helped a bunch of projects launch and wrote the smart contracts, gave them the UI to do that. When we started building there, we never really saw, Stacks as the end all be all for the platform. We were like, if this turns into something, think a multi-chain kind of NFT marketplace, not just limited to what NFTs are at the time, but what they can be in the future, is going to be really interesting. So we ended up going full time on that, bootstrapped it for the first 6 months with our own money, and then it raised a round, kind of on the premise that we were going to, go to these different chains. And basically, we just looked at where the developers were. So we moved from Stacks, expanded to Near. Near was growing really fast at the time with developer count. We're developers ourselves, so we kind of like to go with where the developers are. And that was good. Near was pretty good at the time, but then, FTX and all of that happened. Around that time, though, the Move ecosystem started coming on the scene. You had Aptos, Aptos that launched first, but we knew Aptos and Sui were coming. We started diving into, what Move was, kind of the history behind it, and we just became fascinated by it. It was to us the first, framework that was built with what crypto and Web3 could do in mind. Everything else was more of an adaptation or too early. But the guys at Facebook, when they were first building this out, it's like, we're going to build this with kind of all of these functionalities in mind, and safer to use, more dummy proof for developers, which is something we didn't like about the EVM ecosystem. It's really easy to make mistakes in the EVM ecosystem, and then just purpose built, more robust. And so we were like, I know we wanted to go to a lot of different chains, but we're really interested in the Move ecosystem. So we launched on Aptos, a few weeks after mainnet, maybe a month after mainnet or so, and then started gearing up for Sui. Sui, which is a good thing, is quite a bit different. It's not just an adaptation of what was built at Facebook. It is kind of reconstructed and built even more specifically for what the future of crypto can look like. And that's why we really became fascinated with Sui, and saw it as kind of like the leader on the tech side in the Move ecosystem. So it took us a little while to get implemented there. There weren't any standards for NFTs at the time. There were, I think at the time, there were 4 different marketplaces, something like that. It was Clutchy. There was this Origin Byte kind of standard that people used. I think Clutchy created. There was Hyperspace. I feel like there was 1 or 2 others. I don't know. There was quite a few, and there was a pretty active NFT ecosystem at the time for the first few months, but it was in the middle of the bear market. So we got up and running. We were kind of like the small fish on Sui, but we loved the ecosystem. Like everyone we came across, we get to know all of the collection leads and all of that. It just felt different here in Sui. And so we basically, from the time we implemented Sui to now, we've probably spent, like 90% or more, 95% of our time working on it. And so kind of like as time went on throughout the bear market, some of the initial hype of the chain launching died out, just interest in crypto died out. There wasn't a ton going on. I mean, I think there were months where there was like $500 in commission revenue available for all the marketplaces on Sui for the whole month. So, I mean, what is that like? I don't know, $50,000, $20,000 of total NFT volume. There just was not much going on. And that's not a Sui thing. It was kind of an everywhere thing. Aptos was still kind of like leading on the NFT side though. I mean, I think at the time Aptos was doing like 10 times the volume that Sui was. And so, but, like as even in the midst of that, the community was still really strong. Like the core community that was here remained optimistic about Sui and was just really fun, which is kind of hard to do in the bear market. And so,
and I guess one question that I have is, so generally you started with Stack, you moved on to Near, and then you got into the Move ecosystem, right? I'd love to hear about, I guess, how the experience has progressed with like, I guess, a focus on Sui. Because one of the questions that I got is for you is, if 90, I think somebody said 97% of your activity comes from Sui. So why is that not the sole purpose, and why are you still pursuing other chains on the platform?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So one, as time has evolved, like we've seen Sui as our home and Move as the ecosystem we want to build in. We think Move has a ton of potential, but it's still really small. So, and if we had followed the logic of like, oh well, 97% of your activity is on Sui now, why don't you just do completely Sui? Well, we would have, if we'd followed that logic 2 years ago, we would have abandoned Sui for Aptos when there was 90% plus activity on Aptos versus Sui. And that's what happened with a lot of the marketplaces on Sui at the time. They either, just shut down because it wasn't, they were losing money on it, or they went to greener pastures. They pivoted to tokens or something like that. And so, yeah, I think the answer there is one, like viability. We've always prided ourselves on being a team that looks at the long-term kind of picture. We've seen a lot of marketplaces come and go. And so we do see a lot of viability with Move. We see a ton of potential with Sui, but practically it's still really small. I think this month there'll be like $1 million in volume on Sui total for NFTs, which is pretty tiny. It's not a bad thing. It's just early. And so one is viability, even though there's not much volume elsewhere on other chains too. It's just kind of, it does help having that. Our other big thing here though is we love to cross-pollinate different, with different ecosystems, and the Move users specifically are more fluid amongst the different chains. So we've seen, Move users from Movement and Aptos that come on to Sui because they learn about Sui NFTs through Tradeport. So our kind of view there is we can help cross-pollinate ecosystems, and whichever one has kind of the best community, those users will end up sticking there. So we can kind of help do our part to help grow Sui by exposing users that may not have been exposed to Sui in an NFT ecosystem, to it just by being on a platform.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point that people normally overlook, that, you also have a business to run, and you never want to park all your eggs in one basket, and you want to wait it out for as long as possible. So to conclude, Daniel, I know that you mentioned that Tradeport hosts regular spaces as well. So if people want to join in, how can they reach out? What cadence do you host your spaces on?
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday, we have Tradeport and Chill at 11 Central Time. So that's at the top of the hour from here. So after this call, I'll hop on Tradeport and Chill. That's Monday through Thursday. There's no agenda. We just kind of talk about whatever's going on. It's basically like the conversations we have with ourselves on our own calls, just in public, and anyone can join and hop up and chat with us. We talk about the market. We talk about what's going on Tradeport. People, can talk about, if they're having a problem or if they have suggestions. So there's really no agenda. And then on Fridays, we have a SWE weekly space where we highlight projects that have launched or are launching on SWE. And that's at the same
Nice.
time.
Yeah, love it. Thank you so much for the context, Daniel. I think the underlying message here is that Tradeport is very focused on SWE. It's just, they have a business to run, and they want to make sure that, it's a sustainable business, their risk is mitigated. So that might be one of the reasons. But yeah, like Daniel said, I think SWE has been their number one priority, and it's only going to increase from here on. And yeah, they do work very, very closely with the projects. I'm glad that you guys are here. You guys saved the SWE ecosystem in the early days as well. That is kind of overlooked by this point in time, because I would imagine none of the newer users even know about Clutchy or Origin Byte for that matter. But yeah, really, really cool piece of lore there. Thank you so much, Daniel. It was really, really nice having you, hearing from you, and just getting a different perspective on how it is to be on the other side of the seat and run a protocol.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, thanks for letting me share our lore.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, now we go to the CT Queen to go over the CT scan.
What actually happened is we learned that Amog doesn't know any pop culture, so he can no longer do these sessions because he's chronically online, but he doesn't understand or see any of these things apparently. Anyways.
No, I was one sec, just to clarify, I was on a social media detox for the past month, and I'm slowly ramping up. So I think in the next call, for all you know, I might be the one leading the session, and you'll be just, listening to me talk.
Yeah, and then I'll be leading DeFi on the other sections, and then you'll be doing all the crypto Twitter stuff. Good to know. Cool. Well, anyways, I think one of the big kind of controversies that happened recently was Ika having a KYC for their airdrop, and chatting with you, Amog, like, what are your thoughts on KYC for an airdrop? Like, is this something that should be typical, or should people just be getting their allocations because they participated?
Yeah, I think this one is a little bit tricky because this wasn't just a plain vanilla airdrop, but they also had an element of pre-sale to it. And if you're doing any form of pre-sale, I think you will have to go through KYC. As far as I know, it's mostly just like you don't have an option but to comply with the OFAC regulations and comply with, not supplying money to sanctioned countries, which is the primary purpose of KYC. I think the platform that they're using is also very, very cool. I think it's called, I'm gonna butcher the name, so I'm just gonna spare myself of even trying to say it. But yeah, they're using a very cool on-chain KYC verification platform that preserves your privacy. So hopefully you're not gonna see like a Raj Gokul equivalent, passport picture show up on crypto Twitter or anything like that. So it is very safe. They've been very active with customer queries as well. So I don't think there's much there's much more they can do other than like maybe just contemplate removing KYC, which I don't think is an option in this case because, like I said, there is a pre-sale element to it as well, and OFAC compliance is just something that no company can get around with.
Yeah, I guess in this case, it would have been better before they launched all their NFTs and had all of these things people could buy to like let people know that some people aren't going to qualify, because that seemed a little bit more deceptive, probably in the eyes of the community. And I think also a lot of people haven't been able to pass KYC, even though they should be. Like based out of Korea, it seemed like a lot of people just weren't getting through, and then they just get locked out. So it's like, well, when that happens, like, what are your support options? Like, are you reaching out to the founders? Do they have someone on the other end that's listening to them? So I think from just like a communication standpoint, things definitely could improve, but it's understandable that you have to go through KYC when there's pre-sale compared to like you're just doing tasks and being rewarded.
Yeah, fully agree. I think it could have been like they could have definitely done a better job with the disclaimer upfront before the campaign started.
Yeah. And I think like tons of people bought those NFTs thinking they would get bigger airdrops. Cool. Something more broad crypto Twitter. I think if you've kind of been around the space, you might be seeing a lot of crypto personalities and KOLs being hired by some of the larger companies. Is this marking a top signal or is it a bottom signal? Seeing a lot of people that used to be independent suddenly getting like sucked up by like, I don't know, high salary potential jobs. Some of the ones that I saw in the industry already, Nikita got hired by X officially, and he's coming from a Solana background. So that might be really interesting to see what X might integrate into Solana, if anything. Alex got hired by Coinbase recently, and he did like a Pudgy takeover, and that kind of spurred a lot of other accounts to also post a Pudgy picture as their profile for a bit. Kanal got hired by Monad. He's, I think, been a free agent for a while, but now he's officially joined their team, which makes a lot of sense for their demographic. A lot of kind of like younger Gen Z guys and girls that kind of have that crypto Twitter native persona. And then Ethereum also just hired one of their CT personalities. So it's very interesting to see, and then also kind of sparks the question that I posted recently of should Sui have a crypto personality, and is there someone that should be nominated for this role? Typically, I think these people have at least like 20 to 40K followers, so significant influence, but also can kind of span other ecosystems, like they're not just dedicated to one. Amog, who would you nominate for Sui?
That's a great question. I wanted to say Adeny, but you said that they should also dabble with multiple ecosystems. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe I need to put more thought into it. I do have an answer to your initial question about whether this is a top signal or not, and my vote is no, because top signal is when people leave their stable jobs because they've made so much, and
Yeah.
then they put it all in again, and then they lose it, and then they start finding a job again. So in my opinion, until these guys voluntarily quit from their jobs, we have space to run.
That makes sense. We're still on the rise because people can make money in both ways, in a stable salary income and also all the degen stuff they're doing.
Yeah. What about you? Who do you think should be the CT lead for SPI?
I guess from like purely influence, something else we'll talk about soon is Vo from Magic Eden just left. What if she's Vo for Sui? That could be interesting. But I think from what she currently posts, it's more just about what's going on generally in the industry and not any chain specific. So it'd be interesting to see if that potentially would fit. But I don't think she's posted a lot about Sui generally. Yeah. And then perfect segue into our next segment. Is there a Magic Eden exodus, or is this just poorly timed departures? I think in like 1 week, I saw 3 people leave after having like 3.5 years at Magic Eden. These are all people that probably started in 2021 and the biggest part of the bull market. And maybe it's showing that the industry is getting healthier because people feel like they can leave a more established company, or this means that maybe NFTs aren't doing so well. But I think in just this screen grab, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people left Magic Eden recently. So it was just kind of very interesting timing. And they all had nice things to say about it, but it's also the internet. So we'll never know what happens, but very interested to hear what everyone else's speculation is. Amog, what are your thoughts on it? Do you feel like anything's happening at Magic Eden, or it's just their time?
Honestly, I have no idea. They did launch their token. Maybe it has something to do with that. Maybe they're restructuring. I mean, NFTs, I feel like now they're kind of taking off again with Pudgies and Punks almost hitting their all-time highs again. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait for one of them to come up with a memoir to find out what truly happened. Maybe like a Netflix series on Magic Eden Exodus. Who knows?
Wow, crazy. Really, maybe it's the next Fire Festival. Anyways, something else that has been happening recently, a lot of accounts are actually being exposed for not being women. It's a bunch of male KOLs stealing photos from Instagram. And then people did a lot of side-by-sides where showing where they actually stole it from, like Instagram or another account, and then started using it as their own to try to be a crypto influencer. And I think the worst thing is some of these people had like tens of thousands of followers and were actually getting paid to be KOLs for different projects. So like a lot of projects and I guess people paying them got scammed. And it kind of begs to show like, is this like an easy way to get engagement? And are there other people that we know that are actually men cosplaying as women? Definitely interesting to see. And it was kind of so widespread at one time.
Yeah, I've seen it was so weird. It was at one of the conferences, but I was just chatting with some guy, and then he had like 5 different Telegram alts, all with like different pictures of different girls. And
Yeah.
then turns out that they were like those Telegrams were his token shilling accounts for like all these shill degen pages. So yeah, this stuff runs really deep.
It's crazy. And then on a side, there's also some very popular like crypto influencers who cosplay as women. It's pretty easy to like see once you figure it out, but definitely keep a lookout out for some of those anon accounts that seem to be posting a lot of pictures of women, and especially if the women change hair color in every picture, because it probably means they're pulling it from the internet. I would do like a reverse search on Google to check it out.
Okay,
Awesome.
now I guess we can have the next guest of honor on the stage. Healthy.
You're healthy. Welcome,
Hello,
healthy.
Healthy.
hello. Can you
Okay.
guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you
hear you
now.
well.
Nice to see you guys. Great chat so far. I'm loving all the news summaries.
I'm glad you enjoyed. Healthy, can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. My name is Healthy. I am the chief intern of Double Up. Currently only work there as a consultant. I have no affiliation with the project whatsoever, for all legal purposes. But yeah, we run a lot of the advertising for Double Up and the marketing for Double Up. And if you don't know what Double Up is at this point on Sui, you have not been getting the alpha. So come and earn some up tokens by playing in the most degen non KYC gaming platform on all of crypto.
Awesome. Good to hear from you. I would also like to note that allegedly Healthy could be the head of HR at Double Up, but if he also is a consultant and isn't employed there, then no, maybe Mike is instead.
We are looking for a new head of HR, someone that we can do that Mike can do what the astronomers CEO or ex-CEO did, you know.
Okay.
That was a joke, but no one caught the joke. But
Mike can be on the big screen kissing you or someone else in your team.
someone else on the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Awesome. Amok, what were your thoughts on this Double Up segment?
Yeah, I think, Sarah, you mentioned that there's some alpha that Healthy is going to spill. He can talk about the merch and just generally go over the platform as well. The platform, I think, is pretty simple. You can essentially play any game that you would play at a casino, and you can do way more. You can place bets on sports. You can place bets on like I guess some random events as well, and all of this is verifiable on chain, that it's random and that nobody has any control over what's happening. Nobody has any visibility. So there's no like shady stuff going on underneath. But yeah, Healthy, I think the purpose of this segment is for you to spill as much alpha as possible. I would also love to get your broader thoughts on token buybacks as well, because I think that's one thing that Double Up has done really, really well. But yeah, generally, I think let's start with the alpha, what we can expect from the platform, uh, the thing that you're gonna launch today, and maybe we can dive a little bit more into the merch as well.
Sure. So the main alpha, I will repeat this, and I've repeated this many times already. The merch will have an airdrop. Just that is the alpha, and it is also a limited mint if you think about it. But I think our marketing and aka our Mike, our social media intern, did not deliver this message well enough. So we'll flame him later afterwards. The music video that is dropping at 5 p.m. EST today is probably the most interesting project I've ever worked on, because we've traditionally worked inside tech and only deal with like PMs or other software engineers. I've never had to deal with the pains that is music artists and DSP and music law legality. This is probably the most painful experience I've had to do, and I think it is. There's actually having gone through publishing like a music video, publishing through DSPs now. I think there's a lot of innovation that could even happen to make this a crypto project. I finally see why Story Protocol somewhat makes sense if you can put like IP on chain, like make the entire process like way smoother. Everyone agrees on the distribution. Doesn't need a blockchain. Like you can just build this product on Sui, right? But that is my pain points and alpha for today. And I do think that you know I hope more and more projects try to do what Double Up is doing and expand beyond just advertising directly in the Sui ecosystem. The whole point is to grow the user base of Sui and target as many people outside as possible. And we're hoping to do this through hip hop.
No, that's awesome to hear. And I love seeing a lot of projects kind of move into different disciplines as well. You guys are doing merch music. Sweetland makes hot sauce now. I think the world is everybody's oyster now. Also, definitely would love to hear more, Healthy, of like what are some of your favorite games on Double Up that you think other people should play? And could you tell us a little bit more about Uni House?
Yeah, so my favorite game on Double Up is actually now become Death. There's just something about that game that you feel like you can always win, even though it's the same exact edge as every other game. Um, Blackjack also comes as a close second and favorite to this, and that's a classic that everyone knows. So with regards to Uni House, we let people in the ecosystem or anyone stake assets in the coins to provide liquidity for the players. So if someone wins from Double Up, they actually win from Uni House or your stake. But if they lose to Double Up, they actually lose it back to Uni House or you earn on top of it. This was largely inspired by my first experience in crypto, where I was playing and staking on Bust a Bit and Ether Crash. I thought the system was really fun. I made my first 100 ETH staking on Ether Crash at that point. But the problem with that site was how they did the staking was you actually just transferred your funds into a hot wallet and they kept the record of it in the backend. So they could actually just rug at any time. And there was a pretty large risk of them rugging. So we noticed that Ether Crash lost a lot of popularity after the price of ETH went up a lot because people were just pulling it out for security concerns. And there was a big hack and exploit that happened in 2020 as well, or 2021. So there used to be like 100 mil custody on the site, and then it briefly dropped to like 2-3 million because people were, again, afraid of security. Double Up solves this with Uni House because everything is custody transparently on chain. It's all in a smart contract. There are no functions for us to take money. There are no functions for us to do like weird stuff to it. And everything is like an open ledger. Like you can actually investigate the source code and see this. This also leads us to like a question that Ambog asked earlier regarding buybacks. Right now, what we're trying to do is balance like how much of player losses go towards buybacks, go towards like Double Up treasury to make sure we can continue expanding, goes towards Uni House. We're trying to target like 20% of the yield going directly to Uni House, 30% going to buybacks, and 50% going towards operations. But these we keep it really flexible so that we have optionality. That's why we don't write it anywhere. This is so that we don't get fudded for like, hey, you guys didn't buy back this month. So we don't promise anything, but everything can be transparently tracked on the Up portal. The whole goal of Double Up is to build the most transparent platform possible. Unlike a lot of the other sites that exist, and hopefully we end up moving the needle for all apps on the gaming side to become transparent.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have two other questions that I was interested in hearing about. The first one being like, how do you typically reward whales or the people that spend the most and interact the most on your platform?
This is just very vibes based. We have no clue, but we try to make them have a good time. Some common rewards or special reward programs are personalized rakeback. We tend to beat the other platforms that exist as our competitors right now. So we are giving our VIPs way higher rakeback rates than what you might get on Rollbit, what you might get on RainBet. We actually, because 4 or 5 people of the team are actually high VIP gamblers themselves for Vegas, we are just very aware of the tactics that are employed by Vegas hosts. If we go to like Resorts World, Wynn, most of the time I am comped fully, or my friends are also comped fully. So we are gamblers ourselves, which is why it's fun. So the rumor of us raising money through the TGE and gambling it all in Vegas is true. We've actually lost all the money already to whoever tries to fund us. You are welcome to quote me. What are you guys going to do about it? We gamble all the funds away. Again, for the FBI, this is a joke.
Well, all the alpha is here. And then the last question I have for you is, I heard a lot of people are interested in perp stacks. Is there anything that you guys want to share from your side and what you think about like the space right now in perp stacks on Sui?
Perps is a really funny thing, especially as we see every single protocol on Sui try to compete for this. Personally, I think perps is great, but in general, I think it's hard to build a really good experience because of the amount of liquidity that's actually required to take on the risk. So people can look at the Hyperliquid team, but they don't realize that the Hyperliquid team came from like HFT background. They had a lot of connections early on, had a lot of connections to market makers early on that allow for the liquidity to be really smooth and allow for them to quote like really deep amounts of liquidity. I find it hard to be able to go like $1 million long on Sui, like on Sui itself, like through a perp stacks currently. But you can do this on Binance and you can do this in Hyperliquid. What people and whales really care about is size, because they want to be able to make a lot of money fast. So Double Up itself will probably not focus on perp stacks because we don't. The real answer is we don't think we can do as good of its job as the current ones that exist, and it's not worth competing in the platform. And the same reason, like we just want to be able to focus on the things that we are good at. So I think today, right before this call, we actually just shut off our pump up platform because we just realized, it's kind of pointless to run the infrastructure. We're not very good at the meme coin and the trenching and attracting attention on that side. So it's not a product or a space that we really want to compete in. Our product and space is like degen, culture, and having fun. And as much as I say we're not going to compete in the perp stacks, we are looking to build 1,000x leverage or 10,000x leverage type of perps. That I think just becomes pure gambling, and hopefully people will come play on that side. But more information will come for that soon.
Awesome. Well, it's great to hear the alpha coming straight from the source. Mr. Amog, is there anything else that you want to ask our esteemed guest?
No, I think I don't have any more questions. The only pitch is that, for all the people that are against gambling, ironically, the people who think that the house always wins are even more incentivized to put their money where their mouth is and just stake with UniHouse. You have nothing to lose. If your belief is that the house always wins, then there's nothing stopping you from just parking some money, earning some good returns, because you're not going to lose money.
So we hear this, right? But people aren't there for the days where we joke about it a lot. There are days where Double Up literally has negative 300K in revenue because whales are killing the site. So it is very possible to win in short term. And we're very open about all the odds that happen. Like blackjack is like a 49.5 edge if you play perfectly. It's super easy to win coin flips. So there are people that I see constantly coming that place like some of the crazy stuff I've seen is like they'll place like a 50K hand on blackjack, just double up and then walk out. Like we've seen some fascinating behavior.
Oh, very cool. It's kind of interesting to see it from the inside perspective because I don't think a lot of people get these insights just from like a normal casino. Awesome. I guess my last question for Healthy is, what is one thing you want the audience to be imparted with from yourself or Double Up or anything else?
There are two messages. The main one is have fun and gamble responsibly. We built this platform as a way to de-stress, and mostly because the whole team is interested in gambling themselves and is too lazy to fly to Vegas to gamble. And we think that the other platforms online are not necessarily fair or transparent. The second is the token is named up. Remember, guys, it only goes up.
Wow, crazy. You could have not said like all that nice stuff at the beginning and just said the token is named up.
That's all we need. Up only goes up.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, thanks, Healthy, for joining us. I think the next in-person events that you can catch Healthy at will be KBW and Token 2049 Singapore.
Yes, we will be there. We have a really big event happening in KBW, so keep your eyes out to get invites. I think it'll be really fun. It's going to be another part of our music hip hop activations that we are leading in. And I hope that you guys have been impressed with the chart in general. I hope that we will become one of the unruggable coins on Sui.
Knock on wood.
All right. Thank you so much, Healthy. I'm not, Sarah, are you going to KBW?
I'll be at KBW and Token 2049.
Okay, nice. Lucky. But yeah, thank you so much, Healthy. It was really, really nice hearing from you. And generally, like Sarah said, just getting the perspective from somebody who runs a platform like this. It does take a lot of guts, a lot of work to pull off what you're trying to do. So yeah, really appreciate all the work that you're doing. And thank you so much for helping us de-stress through by the means of gambling.
Yes, for sure. I'd also like to note that Mike said, shout out to Healthy, he's goated. Can't wait to meet him one day. Wow, his biggest fan.
Okay, I think this is the last segment now where we'll just spill some ecosystem alpha. I think two things to talk about. We're going to keep it nice and short because we did cover most of it within the ecosystem wins section. The first thing that I wanted to cover is that Vendetta, which is a fully on-chain strategy game, is now live on Sui. It's a really fun, easy to play game. You do have the component of NFTs, everything being on-chain, which is a very exciting thing if you've been following the Web3 gaming trend, so do check this out. And I guess we can spend some time talking about attention and what they're looking to do, because I feel like it's a very public experiment of what Attention5 might shape up to be, and what they're doing is truly unique. Sarah, have you been keeping up with it?
Yeah, a little bit. I know they kind of launched in stealth. Like they're like, oh, are you paying attention? And they just kept saying it's like, you'll see what happens. And it seems like another kind of InfoFi platform. But it's really interesting to see now that they're kind of utilizing those tokens. So it's not just like meme tokens to do something with utility. It's like, okay, now you can pay attention to actually post on their Twitter. And then any message that you want to get across kind of reaches a new audience, which is very interesting. And it's kind of similar to like Kaito or other things where like you're getting rewarded or you're getting some benefit out of it. But curious to hear from you, Amog, like, do you think this is just a meme project, or do you think this is something that's going to bring more utility and be more interesting to the broader ecosystem?
Yeah, I think they're definitely onto something. The playbook has also been very, very interesting and fascinating to observe if you were in on it from the early days. They just grew this account out of nowhere to like 75,000 followers. And now what they're trying to do is utilize the token to, I guess, like you said, grant a different audience to people who can bid. Right now, you can go on the Attention website, Attention portal website, and there you can essentially bid for space on their Twitter profile. So some people are promoting their meme coin project, some people are just promoting their profile. So it's just a very cool project that is I genuinely think they're onto something, and I think if they continue experimenting like they have been doing, they will definitely find a deeper product market fit when it comes to the attention file landscape, which was very convoluted, very overpopulated for a while. But now I feel like, the froth is going away and you can see what the real projects are and what they're looking to do. So yeah, very, very cool thought experiment. I did share a tweet yesterday about how it would be super cool for them, for Attention, to essentially start a launchpad on Sui powered by Attention. So it'll be an interesting concept because meme coins through launchpads at the end of the day are all just competing for attention. So if they can find a way to merge these two things, I think they're definitely onto something.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense, especially since this is something that kind of started on Sui. That's unique to, I guess, what Attention is doing compared to some of the other platforms that have launched on Base or other places. And I think Sui is a better home for a lot of these things, especially in regards to like claiming or just doing transactions. So you don't have to deal with Ethereum or another chain that's like super slow and janky.
Yeah, and I think generally we all just love innovation happening on Sui. So yeah, Attention is just one of those projects that has been pushing the barrier when it comes to just experimenting with how to best find the product market fit with Attention. And yeah, lastly, to conclude, Sarah, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we're launching a new segment for at least the next call or so. This is Product Roast. What we want is for any teams on Sui or thinking about building on Sui to submit their projects to be roasted by us live during the next ecosystem call. You can get live feedback, free advertising, and free yaps about your project. So if you wanted to showcase something and didn't want to use the Attention board to do it, then you can do it during this call and just kind of get just more of an audience and have other people understand what you're doing, because we'll do more of a deep dive into like the UX UI, like the idea itself. So please fill out this Google form that we put on the screen in a beautiful QR code and just fill it out if you actually want to apply. And then we'll pick maybe one or two people for the next call to actually go through this new segment idea with. We'll also post the link through our Twitters just so then you also have access to it later as well. But I'm very excited about this. Amog, are you excited to roast projects?
I am excited to watch you roast project because, like I said, there's no mean bone in my body. I feel like I'm just, I'm going to defend them against you.
Okay, I guess we can do that too. Good cop, bad cop. Amog will just say nice things about the projects. Actually, that could be kind of fun. Like you point out like the good in it. It's like the devil and the angel on each shoulder.
Yeah, I guess I can, but yeah, I guess we can iterate a little bit on the format. I will try to, bring out the mean side, the latent meanness inside of me if it comes out at all.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to do this. And yeah, if you're a project on Sui, promise it won't be offensive.
Yeah,
But yeah,
constructive feedback. It won't. We're not going to be mean
constructive
for the sake of being
feedback.
mean. And I promise that Amog will bring out his inner Simon Cowell at some point.
I mean, I would be excited to see that side of me come out as well. But yeah, I think that's it from me. Sarah, do you have any parting thoughts?
Nope, that's it from me. I guess one question for you, Amog. How are people commenting through this? Like, is it just based on whatever platform they're streaming? There's a comment option, and it all just kind of comes into this feed.
Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. I think it would be fun. Like, if anyone ever has questions, like during these segments, we're reading the comments, so we're happy to like answer anything or just interact more. I think that's what makes these calls like more interesting and fun, and the reason why we're doing them live too.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just realizing that you're probably not seeing them, but I have a panel on the right side of my screen where all these comments are there. When you see something on the screen, that's me manually adding it on the screen.
I did notice that. I'm just looking at the normal comment channel. I don't have
Okay.
Supreme admin access.
Yeah, I was just wondering how your screen looks like, but yeah, if you're seeing it, then yeah, it essentially aggregates comments from all the different streaming avenues that we have this going on in, and just shows them here, and I can place it on the screen if I wish to. But yeah, I think that's it from me too. I think for the next call, we'll definitely try to incorporate this session. We'll again, like Sarah said, we'll try to make it even more interactive. And thank you to all of you who stayed through and just joined us in celebrating the wins within the ecosystem. And yeah, we have a very, very long way to go. We do have some very, very interesting things happening within the ecosystem. The Ika airdrop claim will be live. The TG will happen next week. So we'll just have tons of things to talk about in the next call as well. So I'm super excited for that.
Yes, very excited. Oh, and they just released tokenomics. So if you're interested in doing some more reading, you can, I think I saw it on Mateo's profile. So go to his link and then just read more about Ika.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I will end the stream now.
Thanks, guys. See you next time. We need like exit music.
I only, well,
We need John Cena exit music.